So today was really about three big announcements. We talk about empowering you with AI, empowering you with new ways to develop and continuous integration. But there is a third chapter to our journey into building amazing apps that people love, which is really the people love section. How do you build those apps that's going to be amazing, that DJ Raleigh is going to use to file his taxes? And that's really stretching the limit. I mean, now an app is, the barrier to entry to amazing app is very different. And I would like to welcome on stage the last but not the least speaker, because she's the brain behind this whole event, Sarah Franklin.
Thank you, Alex, and hello, everyone. I just want to say, first off, something that I say is trailblazing is a team sport. I appreciate the shout out, Alex, but this is for all of you, and this is done by an amazing team of people around the world. So thank you to all of you. We're here today to talk about building customer apps that people love, bringing the love. And building those customer apps is only the first step on a journey of customer apps. And like Leah showed you, building applications is hard work. As developers, you work hard and you put sweat and tears and a lot of love into the building applications. But that's just the start, because you have to think about who's going to use your app. Alex said it best, adoption is king these days. You need to drive customer loyalty and you need to drive engagement. And that's why you don't want to reinvent the wheel. Nobody wants to build shelfware, so you should just take the best of breed in marketing, in commerce, in service, so that you're talking to your customers in one-to-one ways, personalized communications, using the latest features like geofencing or SMS. And if you want to sell products, just take commerce and snap it in with checkout and Apple Pay and all of those features. And the other thing that we're seeing is that applications no longer live in silos. Applications have become experiences that span multiple types of applications, and it's more important than ever that you integrate these experiences. And that's why today we're excited to announce Platform Events. Yes, Leah's excited about this. You should all be excited. Who here has created a custom object? I think every single person in this room would raise their hands. The same way you create custom objects is what you do to create custom events. And then what you have is pub/sub at your fingertips. And we're going to show you this in a minute. Because companies like Black Diamond, they are trailblazers in their industry. Black Diamond is a leading retailer for outdoor, hardcore stuff like, people that want to summit Everest and need crampons and ice axes and those carabiners that Leah was showing. And they've done this by building applications that deliver smart sales, smart service, smart marketing, and smart commerce, and custom applications that meet their business needs. Okay, so enough slides. Let's go ahead and get to the demo and show you how Black Diamond is connecting to their customers with the #1 CRM platform. And before we do, I have to give a huge shout out to Helder and Kara back here. The demos are live. They're the ones that bring this to life. So here we're looking at the Sales Cloud. This is what developers at Black Diamond have created for their salespeople to see everything they need: leads, opportunities, accounts, quotes. It even has Einstein in the right, so you have lead score built right in. But Black Diamond knows that they need to build on a foundation of CRM and extend it to meet their needs. So what we have here is a custom object for merchandising. Let's go to the merchandising application here. This is a custom object, and this page is built with components. As developers, you think about app composability. This one is made with 4 components, one for record details, which is a standard component. Then you have 3 custom components, one for a product catalog, another for being able to filter the range, and then we have something called a merchandise mix. And this is a fancy component. You can filter, you can sort, you can drag items from the catalog over into the merchandise mix. And you see features that are embedded here, like analytics just built in because it's built on the #1 CRM platform. So how did we build these components? Let's go ahead and look under the covers at the code. Another great feature with Summer 17 is our Lightning Data Service. So you notice these are 4 different components, but they're talking to each other. And that's made possible with this data service, which is beta in Summer 17. Because when I take an object from the catalog component and I drag it over to my mix, I need to be able to know which record that I want to add that merchandise to. And with the Lightning Data Service, this is now really easy. You don't have to create Apex server-side code, no controllers required. With just a few lines of code, you have this data accessible to all of your components on the page. This is a hot feature. But these components, you don't want to just build them once. You want to be able to reuse components, because when you're composing applications, you're going to be very productive if you can use them in multiple places. So that same component, we can go ahead and look at the mobile device. And you see it's being used it's the same component, but it's being used in a very different way. And another place could be a partner community. So again, by building on the Salesforce platform, we have things like communities that we can stand up very easily, and it's integrated to all of our data. And reusing these components that as developers we've built. Okay, so that's how we're reusing components. But let's go ahead and go back to our application, and let's look about how we can compose these applications. If we go into the Lightning App Builder, we see the canvas that Leah showed earlier today with all of our components. We have standard components, and as you know, this list is growing. So our base components, with each release, we have more components that we're exposing. We have custom components that you can create that are custom within your organization, or managed components that can be done with one click from the App Exchange. So what we want to do on this page is add some logic. We want the page to behave differently based on the status. So we could either drag over the standard path component, or another thing that we're doing with components now is we're giving you, the developer, the ability to extend that functionality. So we're actually going to drag over a merchandise custom component that keys off the status of the merchandise. Now, the other thing, I'm going to get really fancy here, is we want the page to behave differently based on the data that the user enters in the record. So with just a few clicks, using a new feature with Lightning Dynamic Pages, we can configure the behavior of components to show up or not show up based on the data that the user enters. So in this case, based on the status, if it equals draft, we want this component to show up on the page. Yeah, applause for that one. So we're here with developers. We want to make sure this works. Let's go back and let's save, and let's see this in action. So Kara's going to go ahead and click on Submitted to Manufacturing. That component disappears. That was no code required. OK, but now I'm talking about something which is submitting this mix to manufacturing. In your brain, this is integration work that I'm going to be doing. So how do we go ahead and integrate applications that could be living in different places? We do that with platform events. So I asked earlier, everybody that had created a custom object, you know that these are __C. Platform events are created the exact same way, except for they're called the name plus __E. And in this one, I want you to pay attention to 3 pieces of information that we capture, which is the mix ID, the mix name, and the account. So whenever we publish that event, we're going to capture that ID for other applications to listen to. So let's go ahead and look at an application, how we would publish this event. Here we are in Process Builder. So the first thing that we do in this process is we look at the merchandise to see if it's created or edited. And then we evaluate the criteria to see if that status field has changed, and if that status field evaluates to submitted to manufacturing. And in that case, the immediate action that we take is to publish the mix submitted event. That's how easy it is to do integration. We take something that's very hard, and we make it easy with Salesforce. OK, so who's going to listen to these events? Well, we have here a sample application that is built in Heroku. And the glue that's connecting these two applications is a Heroku microservice. And what this is doing is it's listening to the event bus for those events. So let's go ahead and see how you do this in the code. If we go ahead and scroll down to our subscribe method, what you see is just a few lines of information here. The code is listening, and it's listening for that mix submitted __e event. And then those 3 pieces of information I asked you to remember with a mix ID, the mix name, and the account, those are the pieces of information that we're going to take. OK, so I'm actually going to go over here. I want to see this in action. Move over. No, don't move over. Do this with me. OK, so right here in the laptop,